I think first I was more aware of modernist architecture because when I was a student in Bristol in the mid-60s, I went to a lecture by Buckminster Fuller. And the one thing I remember him saying was it's not a question of designing better bathrooms. He was interested in better ways to wash yourself. So in a way, that kind of modernist, avant-garde kind of thinking was sort of in the air. I actually first was aware of Norman when I was working in a small cottage just outside Bristol, and a big sports car drew up outside, and Norman got out and came in, and so that was the first time I met him. That was really the first time I was aware of Norman. I think one of the first works I made in one of his was he had a small museum in Nice, didn't he? Oh no, Nîmes, that's right. But and I just remember I sort of made it on my own. It was the first time I made a work on concrete. One of my mud works, like the one behind me. Another work I did for him was La Voile, beautiful work, beautiful house he made coming down the hill overlooking the Mediterranean, and he invited me to make a work on the central wall that came down through the house overlooking the sea. And what I liked about with Norman is that he lets me all sort of do what I want. He doesn't. I said, okay, the best thing for me to do is that I'll make 2 circles, and he said fine. And then because I have to work quickly, so one circle splashed into the next one, so I had to make them both at the same time. And what I really appreciated about him was that he didn't. Normally people would want to come and watch me because it's almost like a performance. Yeah, it's quite exciting to see all the mud and everything. But he didn't. He kept out of my way, and he only came to see the work when it was finished. And I kind of appreciated that because it meant that I was more relaxed making it. The biggest one I've made for him was the river lines in the Hurst. Again, that was great. There was almost no discussion. It seemed. I think he said yes to my first idea. So the idea was to make these a big mud work, combining the mud of 2 rivers that flowed into the Atlantic, one from England and one from New York. So it was the River Avon in Bristol and the Hudson River in New York. But what was, again, very good working with Norman was that any technical problems, they were super efficient and super professional about solving them. So one thing that they had to, they designed this sort of big gantry that then I had to, I descended, right down the wall. So they made it very easy for me to actually do the work. So it only took about 2.5 days because they did make it really easy for me. I probably haven't seen my favourite building of his. So one of my walks was took me from the north coast to the south coast of France, and sort of one day I came to this big valley, had to go all the way down to the valley and up the other side, and of course that was the Valley of Millau, and I've seen photographs of that bridge, which is absolutely stupendous, magnificent.